Welcome into To Your Health, and today we're going to talk about a couple of the subjects that senior citizens are most interested in, and we have Carl Schmidt with us here from the Herb Shop over in Pepper Tree Shopping Center, and it is nice to know that we can actually do something that's preventative. You know, once you get it, it's double the trouble. But there's a lot that we as senior citizens can do to stay healthy. And Carl, we were going to talk a little bit about, first of all, the respiratory interest that senior citizens are going to ask about.
Yes. Well, many people, as they age, they can develop different respiratory issues, whether maybe they had a little bit of asthma when they were younger, and then they notice they're a little bit more asthmatic, breathing difficulty, and not able to catch their breath, or maybe it's they're on a CPAP at night, or they're having sinus headaches or sinus issues. But the full respiratory, including the sinuses and the lungs, play a critical part in how we take in oxygen.
Right.
The COVID virus has been found to affect how oxygen binds to red blood cells, and that was how it really made you almost suffocate once the virus got to a level. It's because you couldn't get any oxygen. It wasn't that you needed a ventilator as much as you needed red blood cells that could carry the oxygen. And so there are certain complications. But other disease patterns also affect the ability to take on iron to your red blood cells and for your lungs to exchange carbon dioxide. And a blood value, when I look at blood values, I'm thinking entirely different mindset than what a medical doctor is thinking. A medical doctor is going, it's good enough to not justify a prescription for here or a prescription for there. And often they're not thinking, if I do give a patient this prescription, what would be the side effect of that prescription? I'm looking at O2 numbers, and I'm looking at their CO2 numbers in a blood panel and seeing what their CO2 numbers are. It's a blood gas number, and if it runs really low, their body's really low on minerals and very acidic, and if it runs high, they're not able to discharge carbon dioxide, which is a clue that either their red blood cells aren't carrying that iron well, or their lungs aren't expelling the carbon dioxide well enough.
Well, I think that we have a lot of issues. As we get older, we just, we're like a car. There's going to be a little transmission trouble, a little tire wear. We also, here's something I find prevalent with almost everybody I know, and that's the osteoporosis. And all of a sudden you go in for your bone density, and there you are. And I'm not real keen on some of the things that you take intravenously for that. So what can we do?
Yes. Well, bone health is really important because our bones not only hold us up, but they play a part even in our immune system. And the bone marrow plays a part in that. So our bone function and bone characteristic is important. pH is something we discuss a lot, how potential hydrogen, and that's as we consume foods that are too acidic, like a soft drink or coffee, the pH of those are very low. When we consume, say, a 40-ounce cola, and our body gets all that acid, then our bones have to actually release their minerals into our blood to pull the blood pH back into normal range. You do that day in and day out, and your bones are gone over time. And so it's no quick fix drug is going to really change that. It's a lifestyle to recognizing things that are causing that bone loss. And so good minerals and diverse minerals, and the minerals I generally recommend are from a sea algae, a plant that grows in the ocean, and it has all your nearly 80 different minerals, and it's going to be high in calcium. But it's all those minerals together play a part. It's a kind of a fallacy to think that most calciums that are sold in grocery stores are actually either a rock or a bone or a seashell, but our body can't really dissolve that. And so a plant source from the ocean is known to be the highest absorber. And I've actually had ladies come back that were, they had different medical labs with bone density scores, and they come back a year later after taking the supplements I've recommended, and they have an increase in bone density with no side effects. All their other chemistry, all their other things are healthier than they were the year before. Medicines have terrible side effects, and they're very short-sighted. They may make some changes in a short run, but 10 years, 15 years. So a woman starting on a bone density drug in her 50s, it may change the bone density by the time they're 55, but if they're 70, make it to 75, their bones are much worse. One bone drug It actually has its chemistry origins from the chemicals used to remove barnacles off ships. It's a very, very strong chemical, and it has no known half-life, which means they don't know how long it could ever take to get out of the body. So we really want a natural plant-based item to support bone density. And when we support bone density, not only do our bones feel better, but our joints feel better too. So we help avoid brittle bones and achy joints like knees and hips and ankles. And we make the body feel better. Plus, other chemistry is greatly benefited from that balancing the pH.
And go see Carl over at the herb shop over in Pepper Tree Shopping Center.